Great radio stations across the land, iHeartRadio, Newsmax TV, JoePags.com. It is the Joe Pags Show for a Monday, and it's a joyous Monday. It's a great day in America, and it's a great day to have America's mayor on. It's Rudy Giuliani. Mr. Mayor, how are you, sir?
I'm fine, Pags. How are you?
Listen, I'm living the dream for real. This has been one monumental week. I got to ask you, going into the election on Tuesday, I believed, Mr. Trump believed, his family did. I know you did too. But were there any moments of apprehension as the returns started coming in? The exit polling was dead wrong. Any apprehension at all?
Not too much. You know, I lived through that before. I've seen exit polling even further off, like during Bush 2004, they had Kerry winning at 6 o'clock at night.
They did.
So I know how far off these exit polls were, and I had a sense of confidence based on being on so many rallies with him that there was this big vote that just was going to show up, that probably when a pollster calls up, they hang up.
Right. Or when you walk out of a poll, you don't tell the truth. I still think that there was a faction of Donald Trump supporters that didn't want to say they were because they knew that the far, tolerant, I'm using air quotes here, tolerant left would go after them, and they just weren't telling people what they were going to do.
I knew people like that.
Yeah.
I knew people who didn't want to say it at work.
What was
They were
it?
afraid to say.
What was it that resonated, Mr. Mayor? Was it we're going to put you back to work? Was it the elite versus the regular guy? Although he's a billionaire, he's more of a regular guy than most people we know. What was it that resonated?
I saw it as sort of a Jacksonian election. It was the popular vote, the populists rising up against the establishment. In that election in 1824, they threw out the old Revolutionary War people who almost seemed to be developing like an American nobility, and they elected Andrew Jackson, who was supposed to be a maniac, crazy, out of his mind, going to bring us into war, and they ended up with a pretty darn good president for 8 years, right?
It's
one of our great ones.
It's Mayor Rudolph Giuliani, of course, America's mayor from New York City, traveled with Donald Trump for weeks and weeks and months. You guys were tireless. I don't know how you did it. I don't know where you guys got the stamina, but clearly he was out campaigning Hillary Clinton. Clearly he was connecting. But a lot of people, Mr. Mayor, said, you know what, these sizes of these crowds, that doesn't really matter. Mitt Romney had the big crowds too, and it didn't work out.
Not like that. No, I've been through 5 presidential campaigns. I never saw crowds like this. I knew they were beyond Romney, beyond McCain, even beyond Bush. The 2 times he won.
Right.
These were crowds. Maybe it has to go back to Reagan, and maybe on the Democratic side, Obama.
Yeah.
When he won in 08. But these were different. They were twice the size and 5 times the enthusiasm.
Donald Trump beat the left media. He beat the Hollywood industry, the movie industry. He beat the music industry. He beat pop culture.
Thank God.
I'm with you. But he really got to what matters to people: their economy, their families, their future, whether they can go and work a job or not. So many people want to make this about race or about ethnicity or about economic status. It's not really about that. It's about, do you believe in America again? And do you believe in the fact that we can all succeed and prosper as one united nation, right?
I believe that's correct. And he reached enough Americans and got that across, and against the worst media pylon that ever occurred in American history. I mean, there's nothing that compares to what they did to him in trying to prevent him from getting his message out. And it was his sheer energy and force of personality that got the message out.
How long have you known Donald Trump personally?
28 years.
All right, in 28 years, had you ever heard even one peep about him being a racist or ethnocentric or Islamophobic or anything like that?
Totally, completely unfair. None of us are perfect people. We all have some things, that we'd rather be better at.
Yeah.
One of the things he happens to be is a completely tolerant, completely open human being. He is truly a guy who judges people on the merits. Both the merits of can you do your job and the merits what kind of guy you are or woman you are. Does he like you? Doesn't he like you? He has as many friends of all different backgrounds as I can possibly think of.
Yeah,
I mean, I've been with him, I don't know, 1,000 times.
Yeah.
And never heard a joke, a bad word, and then when I look at his this group of friends, they span, the spectrum of everybody in America.
Well,
That's
why
why
is
I
it
thought
that
charge.
why is it that the far left is at least a modicum of, they're finding a modicum of success in trying to hang this he's a hater guy around his neck? Why are they getting away with it? Is it just that people really don't know, they don't care, or it's Soros paid for? What is it?
They equate, well, Soros is part of it, and they pay for it, and some of them are professionals, and they equate Republican conservative programs with racism. I'll give you an example. Anti-welfare. Well, we're not anti-welfare. We're pro-work.
Yeah, right.
And actually, for me, that is a much better thing for people who are poor, whether they're black, Hispanic, or white, whatever they are.
Right.
So they take our programs and they try to turn them into racist programs. The idea of having a secure border, what the heck is racist about that? That's just common sense.
I couldn't agree more.
Common sense to have a secure border.
Well, as he said, if you don't have any borders, you don't have a country, right?
Yeah, he doesn't want to let anybody in who's coming in illegally. It doesn't matter if you're Hispanic, white, black, Asian, doesn't matter. You want to come into this country, you got to get identified, you got to be legal, and frankly, you should love our country.
For all the years, and it's Mayor Rudy Giuliani, America's mayor, of course, in the Trump camp. I'm on the Trump train. In all the years I've been doing this, Mr. Mayor, and I've been doing this for almost 30 years, for all the years I've been doing this, people on the left, especially minorities, have said, the problem we have with Republicans is they've never reached out to us. So Donald Trump reaches out to the gay community, reaches out to the black community, reaches out to the Hispanic community, does all that, yet still the mantra is not my president and he's a something phobe or something ist. Does he have to spend any time fixing that, or is that going to go away on its own?
I think he's going to fix it. And he's going to fix it on his terms, meaning with programs that are good for them. Yeah. Good education, good jobs, straighten out the public education system, which in a lot of America is a disgrace. How the heck are we going to have a great America if we don't have a well-educated America 20 years from now?
Right.
And the people we're leaving behind are largely a lot of the minorities and a lot of poor white people as well. And he has a commitment to changing that, but on his terms. I always used to say to people when I was mayor of New York, and being a Republican and conservative on these policies in New York, I had a real struggle. But I would go tell them, I love you more. I want to get you a job. I don't want you to be on welfare. I want to get you off the streets. I want to help you with your drug addiction rather than let you die a drug addict.
And that's honestly, that's the compassionate conservatives that are out there. But again, we all get a bad rap. It's America's mayor, Rudy Giuliani. Mr. Mayor, I think you can do any job and do it well in that administration. I think it could be the Department of Defense. You could be the Attorney General. You could be the Department of Homeland Security guy. I think you could pick your job and be better than we've seen out of anybody almost ever. Have you talked to Donald Trump about a job? If so, can you tell us what you're talking about?
No, yes, I have. No, I can't.
Well, I got 50% of the answer. I think that's pretty good. Well, listen, we love you. We love what you did for the Trump campaign.
We'll be back on off.
Well, we hope to do that. Well, I want to leave you with this. As Mr. Trump hits office, last question, I promise. And again, the access to you has been amazing. Thank you. When he hits office, people are going to expect him to hit molasses because of the entrenched establishment in Washington. Will he be able to succeed in his first 100 days? I know his head's going crazy with everything he wants to do. Can he get everything in place that he wants to do in 100 days done?
This is a guy that can do 5 things at once well.
So the answer is flat out yes. He's going to do it.
Absolutely.
Rudy?
And he's surrounded by people who can do 5 things at once well.
Including the guy I'm talking to. Well, hopefully when we find out what job it is, you'll come back on and we'll talk at length, my friend.
You're darn right. Okay.
It's Mayor Rudy Giuliani, of course, America's mayor. Mayor, thank you so much. We'll talk soon.
Take care.
Appreciate Rudy taking the time. I asked him, Kerry. I asked him. I said, are you talking to him about a position? And he first was, no, I'm not going to say anything, blah, blah, blah. But, it's the old PAG's mind trick. But Rudy, the people want to know. Or he just felt like telling me half of it. No, he is. He's talking to him about a position. Now, if you were a betting person, and by the way, Kerry bets on football, she bets on soccer, she bets on dinner. It's odd. Slow it down.
Don't
do you do any betting at all?
No.
You ever gone to the casino?
In Las Vegas, yeah. I
Have
do
you
like
wagered
Las
there?
Vegas. I have.
So when I
yes.
said, do you do any betting, and you said no, that was just a flat-out lie to the people.
In Las Vegas, not normally.
If you are a betting
that.
person, which sounds like you are, but you lie about it.
Yeah.
What position, if any, do you think that he'd be right for?
Maybe Attorney General.
I got to tell you, I think Attorney General as well. I think Attorney General, I think Department of Homeland Security would make a lot of sense.
Oh, that'd be good.
Because,
good too.
Being America's mayor when 9/11 happened and being in the forefront of the fight against Islamic terrorism, I think that would put him in a very unique position. But I think you're right. I think as Attorney General, it makes more sense as somebody who is a U.S. attorney and a prosecutor and all that. And how he cleaned up New York, can you do that on a wider scale and a broader scale in the entire country? I think the answer is probably yes. I could easily see him Department of Defense as well, although I still, for some reason, I get this little tickle in the back of my head, and I really think that Rick Perry is in line for that. I haven't talked to Governor Perry. I haven't talked to President-elect Trump since he won, but that would be a question I would ask as well. I think that Rick Perry probably is somebody who is in line for something. Now, I don't know how the relationship is now.
Would say so.
I know it was bad when they were running, and he made fun of his glasses, and he looked stupid, whatever. But then Rick Perry went out and campaigned for him, and you started hearing about that.
Yeah, Perry made mention of that after we knew Trump won the election.
Right.
It was either that next day or the day after that he kind of made mention that he was talking to the Trump people.
Interesting.
About a possible position.
We're going to see a lot of big names, a lot of people we know who are going to get a lot of big positions in this administration, and it would be smart to do so. Look, he's had these people on his train the entire time. These folks really did help bring out the vote. They really did help by getting behind him, and you're going to see Rudy Giuliani in a very, very powerful position. Thoughts about Reince Priebus being the chief of staff? I was surprised by that.
Yeah, I was too.
I thought it would be Newt Gingrich.
Yeah, I did too, and I think a lot of people thought of that last week, but okay, I think maybe some people aren't really happy because he's very, Republican establishment.
Yeah.
The old Republican, but I don't know. We'll see how he does, I guess.
Going to be interesting. All right, 1-800-383-9624, 1-800-383-9624, joepags.com. Right back with your phone calls right here. Stay here.